Okay, it's 6:30, time to start. My name is Mary Beth Devon. I'm the community manager for Anthem Parkside. This is my 16th Meet the Candidate night. So I'm well practiced in this to a degree. Sherry is the board president. She's going to facilitate the meeting. What we're going to do is give you about 2 minutes to introduce yourselves, and then we'll go into some questions and answers. We'll break out after that for just a little bit of a social 15, 20-minute type thing, and then we've got to be out of the building by 8. That's the time the building closes. So with that being said, welcome, and welcome to our participants that are here to watch. And we've also are streaming it live on our council website, and it will also be on there tomorrow for anybody that missed it that can watch it later. So thank you for coming. Thank you for your interest in the board, and I'll give the floor to Sherry.
Do you want to introduction from each one of you?
Sure.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. I
was going to start anyway. I'm sorry, Mark. I'm Rob McGregor. I've been living here for quite a while, and since I've been here, I'm married and have 4 kids that are matriculating here. Love the community. Absolutely love everything about Anthem. I think that it's my pleasure to have served 2 terms. This will be my 3rd and I think final term for the Parkside HOA. I'm the current vice president, and it's been a joy to kind of see things from the inside. And it's an important election for you guys because there are a lot of important things that are changing at the state level that will have an impact for us here. Those of us that are here or who stay abreast of that are sort of well positioned to manage that. But I'm glad you guys are here. Thank you.
Well, my name is Naresh Goel, and I've been living in this community for 8 years. We owned the house since the very beginning of the community here, and since then I took positions all around the world. Lived in Hong Kong for 7 years, worked as an executive there. In Switzerland, a couple of years there, in similar positions. Lived in Phoenix, worked for the mining company here as an executive. I joined the mining company when it was on the verge of basically extinction, and I was hired to basically save the company from bankruptcy. And I did that, worked with the company, hired a group of people, and saved the company close to $400 million a year, 3 years in a row. And after that, the company was in great position and continues to be that way. We have 3 kids, all 3 of them are medical doctors, and my wife also is a PhD in industrial engineering and a PhD in physics. Like to see the community in a great condition, and like the homeowners taken care, and we don't realize our HOA is close to a $4 billion corporation, right? To manage it from inside is quite a job. So I look forward to seeing all of you again and again, and forward working with you.
My name is Kyle Phil. It's my first time I've actually run for a board. We've lived in Anthem a little over 3 years. I will say, as a young man, I grew up in Deer Valley. I graduated from Deer Valley High School. I actually did all the surveying on all the roads in this whole community. I was a land surveyor growing up. Laid out Boulder Creek High School. So pretty much put this place on the map is what I did. I was part of that, which was pretty neat. I currently am a general superintendent for a construction company. We build wastewater treatment plants. My specialty is wastewater and high-rise buildings. The community, we love the community. Our daughter and son live here. So we have a grandson that's 5 doors down from us. That's perfect. And so we've been visiting down here. While they were living here, they've been here probably 10 plus years. And we would come down and visit them just about every weekend when we lived up north. And we love the community, and that's what made us come here. I knew I had a part in this when I was younger, and I was kind of wanting to live here, and it just worked out. And we found a place for our dreams that we wanted, and we're here. So I look forward to hopefully being part of more part of the community and more involved and helping to keep our community clean and safe.
Great. My name is Trevor Carter. Moved down into the community from Flagstaff with my family in 2019, right? Just a week before COVID hit. So moved in and then all the doors closed and met my neighbors about a year later, which was an experience, but it was great. A great year to spend with my family. We have 3 kids that we're raising here. My oldest we just sent off to college. And I have a younger son and a daughter, Academy. We were drawn to Anthem because we've driven through it many times, and I always admired the community, the cleanliness, the order, and just what an environment that they had created and maintained, even though it was 20+ years old. I'm a residential developer. We have a construction company as well. I do travel outside to Nevada and Utah for my markets. We build smaller communities, about 120 units per community, smaller than an opportunity to always be involved in that from the ground up, of forming those HOAs and being declaring and declaring those over, trying to balance development of those projects as well as the needs of the people. So it's really nice to be on this side actually, to want to be here with no motive other than just the place that I live and want to give back to the community.
Good evening, Chris Genter. I'm here tonight with my wife, Laura, who's in the background. We moved here in 2011, two children, one of which is currently going to school in Georgia. And then the others actually in Boulder Creek. It's Boulder Creek. I'm really blessed to be here in my life. We lived in 3 HOAs, 2 maximum communities. And I must say that Anthem is definitely the best community I've lived in. And I think that's largely because of the previous board and the current board. I think it's a great place to be. And, I'm honored to get your asking for your support to be a part of that board. And then a little bit about myself. It's the bio, but I am a project manager at Fort Worth. So I'm overseeing water projects that are ranging from $500,000 to $24 million. I do think that I was a good tool. There's plenty of people here in the construction background, but I do think it's probably going to help comfort anyone to use somebody that's familiar with construction and getting bids. And I know that like the pickleball board and expanded is important for our community. I know that they put out a request for proposal with contractors. And they only got one bid back. So I'm hoping that we get some guidance. I don't want to get into the weeds, but I do believe we have some skills to help out the community and work together. So thank you for your support.
My name is Mark. I've lived here my entire life. I'm born and raised in Arizona. There's not many of us left. My wife and kids are both here with me as well. My kids are the local celebrity in Anthem. I can't claim that. My 16-year-old went to the Olympic trials for swimming. She just came back from the Olympic training center, and our young is a goalkeeper out here for our rising team. So we homeschooled our kids from day one. That's what actually drew us to Anthem originally, because of the homeschool community that's here and continues to be here. We lived in Desert Hills, just basically Carefree Highway around 17 before moving to Anthem in 2010. 23 years as a fire battalion chief. I'm currently an administrative chief, so I run the EMS division for Peoria Fire, which is a neighboring Lake Pleasant is to Peoria. I'm used to city council, bigger city stuff. That city's about 200 square miles with 200,000 residents, and a city council that's from similarly but different. I have to get up in front of them and speak with them and do projects with them consistently. I was asked by 2 current board members, and they said I could use their name. So Dino and Cody, who currently sit on the board, asked me to run for this position. I'm also interviewed and was awarded 2 positions on different committees. So I was on the amenities committee for the HOA, and then the ACC, and then currently I'm on the growth committee with Rob down there. So let's leave it at that.
All right, I want to thank you, and to the audience, Mark, Chris are running for council, and the rest are running for the Parkside Board. Now, Rob alluded to something that I'm going to ask everyone, and it's just a short answer. Recent changes to the Arizona law regulations of the public roadways. We must vote to retain authority to regulate the streets in Parkside. What is your opinion on the subject? I'm going to start with Mark.
Rules are important, and we need to follow rules and do what's best for the community, but we also need to hear from the community. I might have an opinion on things, but my job in this position would be to hear what the majority want.
Well, we're going to vote on it.
Right.
That's one of the important things for the HOA to be able to still control the street.
That was put out in an email today. But it is important to do what the community wants. Meaning, if you vote for it, that's what you want, great. If it's not, I would support it. I would support the decision either way.
Thank you.
I will say, for me, being in the HOA with the, we all have our little complaints and some things just kind of get annoying, but at the end of the day, we definitely want to have a nice community. And I hope that the residents certainly make the right decision on this. I think there's also potentially some miscommunications on the whole vote too, because I believe that for the east side of Anthem, that if they vote out and allow HOA,
No, it's still the same.
is it all going to be Mercer County?
It's both sides of Anthem, whether you're on I-17 on the west or east side, the parking regulations are the same.
Okay, so, well, but if they vote not to, is it not going to be City of Phoenix on the west side that's going to enforce the parking, and the east side's going to be Mercer County? If we vote not to, but anyway, I personally,
The HOA controls it.
right now, right, but it is.
It will still control
So, but
it.
yeah,
Depends on the vote.
right.
Yeah, so I agree, it's really important to hear from the people, and I would sample that. I think what you're asking about is personal. So with it said that I haven't had opportunity to sample what community wants, knowing that, I think that is a heavyweight. My personal opinion on it is that it's an inconvenience to have to take your car off the street. I was speaking to a citizen just a few nights ago about this. However, if you look at the long-term effects of something that's like 2 or 3 years down the road, having built many communities, I see what happens when you make concessions that are for convenience. 2 or 3 years down the road, you have a whole different animal. I would do my best to communicate that and try and educate and try and win over, hopefully, the sentiment that we should look to keep those rules in place. They were there. I know it is an inconvenience, but the alternative might be quite a bit different.
Yeah, and I absolutely agree with what you're saying. I've had it firsthand on my own street. I mean, our streets are never already as it is on Memorial. It's actually a wider street. We've had a car actually come around the corner and wiped out into another car right in front of this parked on the street. I have a grandson that goes up and down the sidewalks. I don't need any cars parked on the sidewalks. I have a handicapped son that takes the sidewalk every day to go to church. So I feel same way. I think I would explain that to the community. There's a lot of things that can happen. Eventually we have a house that's got 20 people moving in, you got 20 cars parked on the street, right? So our HOA rules are important. I think we need to stick by them first.
Thank you.
Well, views of the community are very important, no doubt about that. But at the same time, we need to be disciplined enough to make sure that we consider our fellow residents as well. When I notice, for example, all the time driving through various streets, there are cars parked on the street on both sides. Very difficult to navigate through those cars. So my personal view, HOA's regulations and controls need to move forward. We need to educate the community accordingly.
Thank you.
So I think this is super important. I think most of us are not fully informed. I think that's a problem. I do believe that having a vote is absolutely essential, but also leading up to that.
Well, we
Some
will be
forums where we
getting-
can talk
we will be getting-
so that people can be informed. For me, I moved here with my 4 kids so that we could enjoy the parks and all the stuff that's here. We have parks 2 doors down from us. We can go outside and be out in the big park. Lines of sight are really important. Some of the people here drive a little quickly, but this community was built around a central hub of parks, and having a bunch of cars in line of sight would be dangerous for the kids. But also more important, I witnessed a circumstance on our street, which is just a regular street. Cars were parked on the weekend on both sides, and they were fine. It's a weekend, but there was an emergency vehicle that was trying to get to my neighbor who had a stroke, and he had to clip the side of a dually truck because there was not enough space between the cars. So if the roads were wider, I'd have no problem with that. But that's my personal opinion. The people are going to speak, and I think that's kind of how this process should work. But I would love to see a couple of forums where we can all talk about what the pros and cons are.
Okay, the next question, and Trevor and Kyle, you don't have to answer this. How many board meetings have you attended in the last year?
Trevor, Kyle, do you have to or do you not?
Have you attended any,
Well, how many board meetings have I been a part of last year? Probably about 8.
Parkside Board?
Oh, no, sorry.
I've not been part of any Parkside boards.
Okay, then what piqued you any interest to run for the Parkside Board?
My interest is to keep our community safe, clean, orderly. I like the way we live and the way things are, and I want to keep it that way. I want to keep it going.
Trevor?
Mine is I want to give back. I don't do business in this town. I do this type of business in other towns. I've been super blessed that way. And I had a conversation with my wife. I said, it's time for me to give back. I've been very busy in my career, and it's time to just give back.
And Mark and Chris. Should put my glasses on. How many council meetings have you attended any council meetings, and if so, how many?
I'll go first. Unfortunately, the answer is 0. But I will say that for me, I'm definitely still excited to be involved. And this is one of the ways
I'd say at least a dozen,
Pardon?
at least a dozen.
Okay, that's good. So you know what's going
That's
on.
not including the committees.
Right.
That's just out here. If we included the committees, I mean,
No, I'm not committing. Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna start with Trevor. What do you feel qualifies you to run for the Parkside Board?
So, besides being a resident, which is important, I don't know if it qualifies you, but I formed 3 HOAs, much smaller than this one,
This is one of the largest in Arizona.
for sure. And not only is it one of the largest, it's one of, I would call it
The
pristine.
best run.
And I don't say that just to get points. It's obvious when you roll through this community, it's obvious when you live here, that this is a very well-run HOA. I don't see the conflicts that I've seen in other HOAs. I don't see the deferred maintenance I see in other HOAs. And I've been a part in not only building some HOAs so that can be maintained and trying to convince the people to invest into that, which sometimes can be a challenge. I think the job has been done very well.
Kyle?
So I feel like I have great organization skills. I run projects of 400 to 500 people at a time. And you can only imagine what it's like running 400 men and women on a project. And it's a bunch of personalities, and I'm the counselor out there. I do very well at it. I'm good at organizing people where they need to be in order to hit that ending goal and hit that schedule on time. It's always been a huge thing to me, was to always make sure that things are done on time and in the right way. I have a sharp eye for building. I've built several LDS temples. If anybody knows about MDS temples, you understand how critical they are.
Well, we're actually built out.
So I just feel like, you know, my skill set can really help the community with anything from, you know, architectural reviews to
Would you like to get on that committee?
anything.
Right.
You know, I do all the plan reviews in my own company right now, so.
Maurice?
Besides being on the board of this HOA for the last 2 years and also being the treasurer of this HOA, I mean, I have been on executive boards in the last 20 years in the corporation. So I have very strong operational and management experience that certainly is needed to run a corporation like our HOA. Good experience, good interpersonal skills, and great operational experience. Essentially.
Rob?
So in the 4 years that I've been on the board, I've learned a lot of things. And it's not a lot about management, and it's more about people skills and interactions and meetings where we're ruling on conflict and whatnot. So I've seen it firsthand. Next year, I will probably be raising the gavel. We'll see. But I want to continue on in the tradition of excellence that was before me. So when I joined, I didn't come in with the mindset that I wanted to change anything. I think that things were running very well. My mindset was, how can I join this and continue this forward momentum? We want to keep our HOA dues low. We want to do compassionate rulings on thorny issues with people regarding fines or conflict amongst themselves. And the people that were before me, Sherry and Tim and others, they set the standard for us. So having been a part of it for this long, I think that the benefit of having me in the position is that I've seen how this can continue, and I will continue to trend, and getting some new people in alongside that I can help mentor and bring along.
Thank you. Mark, why do you wish to serve on the ACC board?
I wish to serve because I'm a public servant by trade, and again, this would be continuing to serve within the community that I live in. Being asked by the two of the current board members to run for this position, they saw something in me. They thought enough of me to run for this position and represent this great community. My kids have been here literally from day one, so we enjoy the amenities, we enjoy the different things that Anthem has to offer. I also know that there's some growth coming to our area. Again, being on the growth committee, I see those plans and I know what they are. And I feel like having somebody like me on the board could allow a foot in to get maybe some meetings that might not have normally had, to talk to those developers and talk to those leaders in these new committees coming up, or these new communities coming up. And we need to have a say. We need to have our voice heard with these new neighbors, we'll call them, and let them know what we have to offer for them, and try and be part of that.
Like I said earlier, the privilege to the HOAs to this is definitely the greatest thing that I've lived in. As mentioned up here, I mean, the community does a great job with the maintenance and putting on the DGs and keeping up the facilities, the golf course, and everything they do. And I'd just like to be part of the director to help continue that tradition.
Okay, this applies to everyone. Would your schedule allow you to make all the council meetings closed and open? And one of the things is timely response. And I said timely response to text, which I mean actually 30 minutes. If you get a text, then you reply in 30 minutes, and if you get an email, 2 hours. Because sometimes things arise and we have to be called and we have to respond. And we'll start with.
Yes, and with Mary Beth's help, if something
Well,
else to
hopefully,
practice. Like I said.
hopefully you should do this on your own.
So, the good news is that I am now in a retired position, so my time will allow to attend most of the meetings as soon as possible.
Kyle,
The answer is yes. Absolutely.
Robert?
Yeah,
Are you out of town a lot, or is there?
I do travel quite a bit, but, I fly to my markets.
Okay,
That's been going on for like 15 years, so, there are community events that I always do, that's like be for community events.
because communication is a big factor.
I live in real-time world, that's my generation, so that's not much of a, absolutely applicable.
Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll respond. I mean, the LA time is I'm traveling.
Then you notify them anyway that you're out of town.
Correct, yeah.
And Mark, I don't have to ask you.
I would like to answer it.
Okay.
One of the things I didn't say, I was the public information officer, so I just say, so I do understand communication and it's important and in a timely manner. With my schedule, the city that we work in, much like AC Mountain, if I was a responding chief, which I am not, if I was a responding chief, I would work 2 days on, 4 days off, 2 days on, 4 days off, and that goes on forever. I work in City Hall. So running the EMS division, I'm a 40-hour guy. Don't get jealous of the schedule. That's not what I'm for. When we work 4/10s, Monday through Thursday, take home car, I have a phone on me all the time. I understand the importance of if somebody's sending me a question in the middle of the day, they're probably wanting an answer rather than waiting for the next meeting. So also communication, it's super important. You know, it's always been important.
Since that answer was great, I'm gonna ask you the next question. What do you perceive to be your primary goals and objectives if you serve on the ACC board?
So I think, I did ask the other two why they asked me to come, like what did they see in me that asked me to come here? I think being up here since 2010, having a young family, we have no plans to leave. We've been in the same house, we haven't moved around, we've been in the same house the entire time. We're in this for the long run, so I want to make sure this community continues to move in the right direction. So where I see it going is I want to represent the masses. And whatever you vote for, I'm also an idea guy. Being a PIO and a firefighter, I have great ideas. I really do. And my ideas aren't just like, let me throw it at you and you do it. My ideas are, let me throw this out to you. Let's get a response. If you like it, then I'll move in the direction that you want. And if you're coming to me with the idea, then I want to work with you and make it work. So that's why it's important, because I think everybody should have a voice.
Thank you. Chris?
Can you just read the question once more?
The question is, what do you perceive to be your primary goals and objectives if you serve on the Parkside, not on the Parkside Council?
I can honestly say I'm not here with an agenda. I do have some people that are on other boards in their communities, and like one of them, he's doing it to try to get a frisbee golf course. Part of this may sound a little bit corny, but Jimmy Carter passed away last year, and I consider him as one of the biggest volunteers that he did a lot of Habitat Humanity. You know, there's only so much sitting on the couch watching Netflix I can do, and I need to be more involved. And so this is kind of pushing us on our comfort zone, but I am up here today. I'm very interested in keep our community going, and my wife and grandma have been here since 2011. I just like to be a more active part.
Thank you for your honest opinion. Kyle, and the rest, I'm going to put you around a little. What do you perceive as a primary goal for being on Parkside Board?
Just to help, uphold our HOA rules and educate.
Are you familiar with the rules?
I've read them.
Oh, good.
We didn't come from an HOA, so it's new to us. We love it. We like it being clean and organized. It's very important to us. We like to come home and it's nice. So I just say, my goal would just be to make sure that the rules are being followed, the community is being kept the way it was founded to be kept, and enforce it.
Trevor?
I don't have an agenda. I don't think there's a lot of fires to be put out. Occasional things come up in any community, which is fine. I'm happy to do that. But I think really the most important thing is the communication. It really is a living entity, right? And people need to be heard, and people also need to be communicated to what the issues are. And sometimes, a lot of times that doesn't happen. And I think that's the whole purpose of the board, so that the people have a say. And that we're not just run by just rules that were set very firm, but that we can use our reason and then the voice of the people to make that decision.
We have open board meetings, so we haven't had too many complaints, which is nice. Our attendance is super. Which is very good because there aren't too many problems. Harish?
But this HOA is very extremely well run all of it. And the residents are very important, and the rules of the HOA are equally important. My main goal has been and will continue to remain to find amicable solutions and resolutions to residents' issues and violations imposed, and when they come for an listen to them passionately and find an amicable solution that is helping the residents at the same time HOA rules are upheld.
And we'll finish.
So everyone has touched on a lot of stuff that I think we all agree that we love the community, we want to keep things running the same way. But for me, the specific primary goals are going to be sort of keeping the dues low and keeping things running the way they're running, because they're running, in my opinion, very well. Also, I talked a little bit about it, administering disputes and the upcoming navigating the legal issues with regard to the parking in the streets. I think those are going to be kind of at the forefront. And I already spoke to that. So yeah, I think for me, keeping dues low, navigating the legal issues with parking, and administering the disputes that come up, and the fines with compassion, but with a focus on the rules.
All right, well, actually, these are all the questions I had, and I'd like to open it up to the audience. If you have any questions that you would like to address to any of the candidates?
Oh, not one? Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything I missed?
She has a question, Chair.
Oh, I'm
Have that
sorry.
right there.
Please stand up and just,
Hi, so my question is, I know everybody doesn't want parking on the street, so I'm not about to speak that, but I'm wondering what your solution is. If it turns out that people go, yeah, we want to see some more parking on the street because the children, we've been here for almost 20 years. We had kids here, they grew up, they got cars, they worked, they moved away, and all these other things. But what happens when they become teenagers and they have cars and they need to park? So what would your solution be if that goes the other way? People want to see that available parking underneath those vehicles.
I actually don't think these people, well, except two here, they could actually answer it. I would suggest that you come to a board meeting and bring that up.
But
I do
that's one of their goals, though, right? So
I'm
they
going
should
through
have-
that very thing. We have 6 people in the house. I have 4 children. 2 of them are drivers, plus the 2 adults. And it's been a pain in the backside. Firstly, what we did was appeal to the committee, to ask the design committee to widen out we only have a 2-car garage, which makes it triply hard for us. So we put a little bit of a median on both sides so we can squeeze a couple bigger cars in there. And then we have to really timeshare the stuff. So I can only have 2 cars. When someone comes, I park one of them in the garage, which is where I've got my workout stuff. So, but if we have both sons home and our cars, we actually have to petition to have on-street parking with the badge. But it's, let me tell you, I'm a rule follower when it comes to that stuff. And it's once you go through the process, it's not as difficult as people think, but it is picking up the phone and calling or coming here and going, hey, I've got my son or my parents are coming from out of town. We're going to need parking on the street. And then we get the 2 cars or whatever. So, but there's going to have to be some deep thought on that, because that probably isn't going to work for people who have 4 or 5 cars in a house with like mine that has a 2-car garage. It's crazy.
I'd like to answer as well? Can I answer that?
There you go.
Okay. I can feel your frustration when you're asking that question, and what I would say is, being a policy guy, I write a lot of policy for the City of Peoria Fire Department. When things don't exist, I'm the guy that come in and say, hey, write me a policy for ABC. And then I run that through other committees and members and, make sure we get buy-in from everybody, and then of course the fire chief has to sign off on it. No matter what the vote is, I think whether it goes to it's okay to park on the street, then maybe we come together as a community, we identify some key areas within your immediate home that would be an okay spot to park those cars. Again, as a first responder, I do see the value of what Rob was saying, and you get a ladder truck coming down your street, it's not gonna make the turn. So there are reasons that those policies are put in place, but I also know this is 2025 and not 1999. So we need to make sure that we're doing things that make sense in 2025 for our growing families. If we wanna have 3 generations here, that's what, the idea is to have 3 generations in Anthem. That means homes now, because of the cost of living, we have more people in the home where they're staying longer, right? So now there's more vehicles there. So we have to make sure the things that we're agreeing to make sense for today. So I think there's a way this is going to work.
Oh, there's a question in the back. Yes, sir.
What are we doing to inform all the rentals and that of the HOA rules and that? It seems like my road is a lot of rental, and they're never, sticking, they're hardly ever, their cars are gone, their garages are all, things are,
We end up seeing quite a few of those.
Yeah.
Our enforcement officers will drive through and we'll see them in disputes with us at the, there is an effort to get the real estate agents, when they're selling the homes, are supposed to have those things signed and off by the purchasers. And then the people who are renting the homes have to also be a conduit for that information when they're renting the house. Because what'll happen is when the owners don't tell the renters these rules, the owners and the renters end up getting notices from the community enforcement officers. And then, sometimes they'll end them amicably. Sometimes we'll see them in disputes in our, when we convene the meetings. So it's definitely an issue, having a self-service sort of informational system that would allow them to see it, but nobody's really motivated to find out the rules around them until something happens to make them aware of it. So that's one of the unfortunate parts of being a board, is we have to enforce some of those rules, and that's sometimes the only thing.
one of the rentals, I think, is from Hawaii, owns the house, and the other one is in Flagstaff. They own the houses right across from it. And it just seems like there's very little knowledge of them. The dogs run out. We had kids trying to go to school when this new family was there. 2 dogs come running out of them, and I mean, it's dangerous. And yet somebody needs to do something.
Excuse me, we can discuss this after we've gone over the 2 minutes. So I'll talk with you afterwards,
No,
okay?
I talked too long.
Well, I think everything is done. Is there anything else, Mary Beth, if you need? Thank you all. Very glad you came.
They could do closing comments. Closing comments, Jerry.
Oh, closing comments, yeah.
2 minutes for each one.
Okay, I didn't realize it's not on my schedule. Okay, where should we start? Mark.
Well, I feel like I got to say more than everybody else, and that's just kind of my personality.
Yes.
I'll keep it short, but
2 minutes.
I want to continue to operate, whether I'm on this, whether I'm awarded this position or not. I'll still work on these, the growth committee and these other things that I've been doing with the community. there's really not a whole lot I haven't said. I feel like Anthem's a great place, and I have a lot to offer. And, I have a skill set that the board can definitely benefit from.
Again, I'm a civil engineer, has project management experience. Mary and I have lived here for 14 years now. Just like to be a part of the board and work with the executive director to continue to bring work into the Andrews doing. It's my privilege to be up here today asking for support to make it happen. So thank you.
I appreciate the opportunity here, express myself a little bit, but mostly my incentive really is just to be able to be a part of this community and give back. Like I said, communication of representing the people and also being a mouthpiece to those that want to hear an explanation or find out those details. If that's something that I can offer, I do all day long. And usually I hope to do that in an amicable way, although sometimes things have to be a little further. But that is the price that I accept to have a community that I enjoy being in, is taking on that responsibility as a citizen to not only live by the rules that we agree to, but also be a part of it to make sure that we remember those rules, otherwise we get forgotten about.
Public speaking's not my biggest thing unless I'm
You're doing
400 people on a job site with hard hats. I got like 30 people in it, I'm nervous. So, when I got the thing in the mail, I was so excited. My wife sitting back there, and first thing I just ran it on, I need people. And I just felt like this was something I wanted to do. And, I've never done it before, but I feel like I have a lot to bring to the table, a lot of good organization skills, I have a lot of compassion. I mean, obviously, I do it on a job site. I have reason. I know how to reason. I know how to come to a conclusion. I know how to fix a problem. So I'm just super excited. I hope that everybody here can see that I'm super excited. This is something I want to do. And I definitely wouldn't let you down. And I worked hard. I'm at that point in my life where I hit the grandkid stage now, and I do woodworking in my shop, and that's my biggest thing. So I'm home. I try to be at home as much as I can and do woodworking. And it's very important for me to give back to the community and be part of it. So.
I love our community, and we enjoy our neighbors, and I think there is a lot that can be done and is being done for the community and residents. So I think I want to continue doing that.
Thank you.
So I love Anthem. I'm passionate about the community. When I moved here, I told my wife I would never live in an HOA, and then I decided to serve. And being able to see it from the inside and participate in the continuance of the excellence that had come before me is really important. But also service to others, I think is really important. So this job is not easy, but there are great people around, and I think that the community needs to have the kind of people that are in serving, and I would appreciate being a part of that for the next 2 years. So I'm asking for your vote.
Well, again, thank you very much.